Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This week's design is a burnt paper effect with some beautiful vintage florals inspired by the little rosebuds that are coming into bloom in my garden, and I'm so excited about that. But I love kind of vintage style nails, so I want to sort of give this a go and sort of see how it turned out, and I'm really pleased with it. So jumping right into the step by step, I'm starting off with the Fibre Natural by Bling Line, which is a very sheer white. So I'm just going to sort of put a layer of that there down to give us a nice kind of soft milky base to work with and then cure in the lamp. Once we're out of the lamp then, I am just going to go ahead and pop on a layer of sort of lemony coloured gel polish, or hard gel, whichever you prefer to use, and then I'm going to wipe off some of that before I actually cure it. So this is kind of designing the, I guess, the sort of the shape of your burnt paper, if that makes sense. So just, you know, do whatever shape you feel that you prefer. I just kind of done a few cutouts around the nail to kind of get that initial sort of papery shape that I wanted. Okay, so now that we're all cured, just go in and take off the tacky layer. I'm going to be using this plate here by Moyu. It's the Princess plate with the sort of scrolly writing on it. You can use whatever plate you have, or even if you want to do your own writing, that's fine as well too, but I just kind of find it easier to stamp. So I'm just layering on some of that stamping polish. The one I'm using is Conad here at the moment, and I'm layering that on quite well, and I just sort of let it sit for a bit because it's obviously a very dainty design that there. So once I've picked it up and I'm happy with it, I just go on ahead and press that onto the nail. Sorry, I'm kind of out of shot at this bit, but it was hard to see with the camera above. But that's it now on the nail. Don't worry if any of the stamping goes over, because using just a little bit of cleanser there, I'm just going to clean up any of the stamping that sort of went over the edges of what will be our burnt paper. Okay, so now that I'm happy with that, I am just going to encapsulate it in a very, very thin layer of gel. Initially, I put too much on, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys in the next shot here, me actually taking off some of the gel. So that's the easiest way, is just by sort of dragging your brush down if you've too much gel on. So once you're happy, pop that in the lamp to cure. Okay, so I've got my beautiful little mixing palette out that Cherie got me. It was in, I think it was the last video. And I've just put 2 dots of gel polish, a sort of cool brownish one and a black. So I'm going around the edges of that sort of lemon, of our lemon sort of papery design. And I'm just dabbing on with, this is an old nail art brush. I'm just kind of dabbing on some of the sort of the taupey browny sort of coloured gel polish. I'm just kind of like dabbing that on. So, and that's just sort of going to create the kind of the build up for the paper design. So once I'm happy with that, I pop it in the lamp just to make sure it's all cured, and then I'm taking off once again the tacky layer and I'm going in with some black, and I'm just kind of repeating that process. I'm just going around, edging it with a black, and then I'm kind of going to bleed it out a little bit, which you'll see in a moment. Okay, so now I'm going in with my Natalie Muggeridge detailer brush, and I'm just picking up some more of the black gel polish, and I'm just going in to define some of those edges to sort of make them a bit more sort of singed looking, because obviously I've bled out the the black gel polish that I just put on there. So that's just to kind of create that sort of smoky edged effect, but now we want to make the edges of the paper look that wee bit more singed and defined. So we want to sort of create that kind of burnt smoky effect look. So again, at this stage it's really just about playing about, but sort of about with it. But I find that whenever you put the black gel polish on, as I'm doing now, to define the edges, what you can do is get your brush and just kind of almost flatten it and just sort of gently bleed out the edges, if that makes sense. It just kind of made it blend that little bit better and sort of give it a slightly more realistic look. So don't worry about getting too messy with it. It is supposed to look like a little burnt sort of love letter effect. So just have a play about, and whenever you're happy with it, pop it in the lamp for a cure. Okay, so for this next stage, all I'm doing here is literally encapsulating the design so far in a very, very thin layer of my cool One Step gel. And then I'm just going to pop it into the lamp. I just kind of want to preserve the design so far. So that's all I'm doing, is literally a very thin amount before curing. Okay, so now that we're out of the lamp, we're just going to remove that dispersion layer with some gel cleanser, give it a really good clean. And I'm now going in with some foil glue. This is from The Edge. And I think the key for me to foil glue, I don't know if this will help anyone who uses foils, but I find that putting it on in a very thin, even layer, and I do mean a thin, even layer, you know, sort of swipe off any large blobs that's sort of going to sit on the nail. So you want a really nice thin even layer, and to let it sit until it is completely clear, because it won't dry solid, but it will just sort of go clear, and then it'll be really nice and tacky for your foil to go on. This is a clear foil, so with some little floral accents. So I'm just going to pop that on, give it a really good rub with a cotton pad. You can use, or a lint-free pad, whatever you have, just give it a nice firm but gentle rub, if that makes sense. And then hopefully then whenever you peel it off, then you will get some of the design. Some of this here had actually slightly peeled off, but I wasn't too worried about that there, because I kind of wanted to go for that sort of shabby chic vintagey floral look. So I was really actually happy with that. I thought it just added to the, I suppose, just to the sort of the design itself. So I'm now going in with a layer of my wet finish gel. I just kind of wanted to put a thin layer on, because I wanted to add some lovely little glittery pieces. And one of the glitters that the glitter that I'm going to be using is called Once Upon a Time, obviously from Nail Sugar, and it's one of my favorite glitters. I just think it's so beautiful. It just has such a vintage look about it. It's just gorgeous. So it's one of my all-time favorite glitters. So I'm just placing that kind of here and there, just sort of randomly where I want it, sort of around the wee roses and around the edge of the letter. And then once I'm happy, I shall pop it in for a cure. Okay, so now that our glitter is all nicely cured, I'm just going in with the encapsulation layer, and I'm just putting on a nice thin coat of the wet finish. It doesn't need anything too big or bulky. This is a small nail, so this is why I decided to go in with the wet finish. Once I'm happy enough with that, I shall cure it in the lamp. Okay, so now that we're cured, I'm just going to remove that dispersion layer again and go in with my buffer and just give it a little buff up. This is just to remove any little sort of bumpy bits of glitter that may not be sat down completely. So anything like that there, you can buff off really gently. And then I'm just going in with the final top coat of the wet look finish, which I absolutely adore. I shall cure it in the lamp and that'll be us all done. Okay guys, so there we go. That is our little burnt effect love letter with some vintage florals and a touch of sparkle. I really enjoyed doing this nail. This is so my style. I love anything like this, anything sort of vintagey. So I hope you enjoyed it too, and maybe you'll give it a go as well. So don't forget to give me a little like, thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment down below, say hi and all that good stuff. I'll be back next week, so look after yourselves, take care, and I will see you all again next time. Bye.